So that's the C major scale, and this is one of the very first scales that I teach new guitar students. And some of you may think, well, you know, I just want to learn to play some chords and play along to some songs and sing some songs. Why should I learn scales? Well, scales are basically a way of organizing notes that are related in a particular key. And how we select those notes and how we put those notes together form all of the chords that are in a particular key. So in this instance, I was playing the C major scale. If you were to go up to a piano and play from the C note, which is the one next to the two black keys, all the way up to the next C note using only the white keys, that is the C major scale. But when we look at it on the guitar, you know, we don't have black keys and white keys. Everything's just kind of all jumbled together. What really makes up that major scale is the distance between the notes. So if I play the C scale, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. But if we look at it, it's really just a series of whole steps and half steps, which are the distance between the notes. And if you don't already know, the distance between two different notes is basically the number of frets. So if I say something is a half step, or if you go to school for music, you'll hear it called a semitone, it's one fret. So going from, say, G to G sharp, or A to B flat. That is a half step. So between every fret is a half step. And if we go two whole frets, that is a whole step or a full tone. So that is F to G. Okay. Now, on the piano, the notes are not laid out like that. You'll notice that there's two black keys and then three black keys and then two black keys. That's because piano, flute, guitar, violin, these are all C instruments. Because they're laid out, because in the key of C, there are a couple of places that occur where there are half steps naturally. So between B and C, it's only a half step. There's no B sharp and there's no C flat. And between E and F, it's only a half step. There's no E sharp or F flat. So that's why when you look at the piano, that's why the keys are laid out that way. So if we were to take a keyboard, and I know this is somewhat sacrilege because, you know, guitar players aren't supposed to play keyboards or piano, but if we look at this and the way keys are lined out on a piano, it makes a little bit more sense because remember I said if we take a C note, which is this note right here, and I go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, those are all the notes in the key of C, and it's just the white keys. Now, there's naturally a half step between E and F, and then again between B and C. And so if we look at this and the way this works, we have a whole step here because there's a black key here. So there's a whole step between C and D, a whole step between E and F, and then a half step, and then a whole step, another whole step, and then a half step. That is how all major scales are laid out. Just a series of whole steps and half steps. And if we look at it on the guitar, we look at those as frets. So if I took any note anywhere on the guitar and applied that whole step, half step pattern, let's say I start here, which is B, and I did whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. We still have that same sound of the key. So let me show you back in C. We have now let me take that to D. and listen. They're different notes, but the pattern sounds the same. And that's really what's different between the major, the minor keys, all the different keys that are out there, the different modes, is how we lay out those whole steps and half steps. So let's go back to C, and let me contrast that with a C minor scale. So again, here's C major. Now here's C minor. And you can hear the difference in them. So why is it important to understand the scale? Because that's also how we make the keys, or the chords that form up a particular key. And in the key of C, you have the chords C, A minor, D minor, E minor, F, G, and then B diminished. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that scale. If I start on C and I pick the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of the scale, I have that major chord. If I start on the next note of the scale, I take the first, the third, and the fifth note related to that D, and I get D minor. And then I take the next note in the scale and so forth. And that's how we build the chords that are in a particular key. They're all based off of the scale. So if we go to a minor key, we do the same thing. If I took C minor and did the first, the third, and the fifth note and went up through the scale, I would build a whole nother set of chords that would be played in that key. So when you're having to learn these scales, know that it's helping with finger independence and being able to play, but you're also learning a little bit of that theory so that you understand, oh, if I'm in the key of C and it's a C major, I know I'm going to have C, F, and G as my main three chords, and then I can throw in an A minor, E minor, D minor, and come up with a song. And that works with all the keys. Once you learn the basics and how it's all put together, you can take that and apply it to any key, and next thing you know, you can play along on the radio with songs that are out there. So I'll be going into this in more detail as I release new videos. But if you like this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you can be notified when I post new content. And until next time, keep practicing.